Okay, afternoon, everybody. So, as I have said for the last couple of weeks, we have an industry speaker for us. So I'm very happy to introduce Aleks. We met in World Forum in London, and he's kindly come down to speak to you guys today. So, thank you to the ones who have turned up. Those who haven't, they're going to get some stern words from me by the end of the day. So, I will pass it on from this. So, Aleks, thank you.
Hey, thank you. Hey guys, I'm actually from academia originally, right? So I'm from Singapore, from National University of Singapore. But then the life path brought me from my PhD and professorship all the way to business. So yeah, when I came to London, I already was a business person leading a startup. So we've got quite a short time to go through the materials I prepared, and I don't think we're gonna really learn how marketing and AI works. So my main goal today is to show you how many cool things can be done there, particularly my company is doing. And then you can take another course and really learn it in depth. And I think nowadays, if you are a marketer, especially if you're a digital marketer, performance marketer, understanding this is at least 20–30% of your salary top up and makes you so much more competitive in the market because the whole industry moves in this space. It's all about data attribution and not as much about creativity, especially in the performance marketing, right? Because so many tools I'll show you that can actually do things for you already. And it's not a question of whether you want to adapt it, agree with it. That's just a question whether you will be following this and following the industry or not following it, then you might have a hard time to be relevant. So thanks so much for inviting. You all checked in, I hope. So I move forward. So name of the talk is Under the Hood of Google and Facebook, shedding the light on how it works. And if you go to the blueprints that Facebook and Google teaching us every time, you will read something like, you know, in order to advertise on Facebook, you don't need to be very advanced. You can just set up the audience, interest, and just follow the way you usually doing it when you run ads and previously when you run your marketing campaigns on the billboards or wherever you want. That's what Facebook says. The reason why they say that is because if they start put in lots of techie stuff inside, people will get switched off and they wouldn't use Facebook. The problem is that the way Facebook works is very different to how they teach us to use it and how we tend to work with it. And then I'm talking about advertising, especially, right? And then that leads to lots of poorly performing advertising campaigns and to inefficient marketing in digital advertising. So last year, estimate 22 billion USD has been wasted just on Facebook alone on the ads that were run, didn't bring any results. Well, helped Facebook to get another 22 billion of revenues, but that's all. Yeah, it's no any use for everybody else, for those marketers who are trying to run it. So that's the outline. And I think the first thing we are going to discuss is those breakdowns of Facebook. So you look at this picture. This is a screenshot of Facebook. Keep, breaking down. The servers are down. You don't really see any images there. You see this. And this is very convenient feature, right? Because laser doesn't work, doesn't matter. This is very convenient feature because you kind of can see what's in the image. If you don't see the image, you still can see what's on it. And you can read it, and it's great. But think deeper. Why does Facebook have all those labels? Like people standing, one or more people sitting, flower, etc. Why do they have it? Do they have it just to provide you the captions when the servers are down? I don't think so. They use computer vision and machine learning to profile every single content that we post. Later, maybe I'll take a selfie with you that if that go to Facebook, that will immediately profile. They'll have a strange guy in a cap and hoodie and students, like lots of people, maybe university, something that what computer will predict from there. Then it will be put in the database, labeled as Bournemouth University. And then later, if somebody will be trying to advertise in education domain, it's very likely the person who have posted it, or if you have liked it or just browsed it, found my post, you'll be advertised. That's how it works in a nutshell. So for us, of course, we just see it this way, and there were a couple of funny jokes people were making, like this guy saying that there are 6 people detected on the image on the Facebook, and he's posted it on Twitter, and he said, well, somebody was missed out. Is it himself or Jesus? Anyway, they were just like so much boost about this, and really don't think that backend system on the Facebook and Google are simple and transparent. No, it's not at all. And of course, that's a lot of privacy concerns related to that, but that's another question. Probably one takeaway from here is there's nothing free in this world. So if you're using Facebook, it's not free service. You are paying so much to this service, and also later advertising companies, advertisers pay to show you ads. And yeah, if you don't want to be in this loop, then just don't use Facebook, don't use Google, don't use WhatsApp, don't use anything. Are you agree with this? I'm not ready to that. So I'm using everything. I just kind of relax. Yeah. But I know this, right? So understanding this is probably more important than the fears that arise from there. Of course, facial recognition, another technology that works very well. The way it works, they have millions of pictures, combinations of person versus another person, and machine learning is trained how to distinguish the same guy on 2 pictures and the difference. So it's like a binary classification problem. They also get those things that they can profile. So you can see that if you look for Burger King on the left side, what Facebook would teach you in the blueprint is, okay, if you want to target Burger King, you go on Facebook and put, let's say, fast food as interest, or maybe burger, and that everyone will do. They will fight in auction against each other, and then they will be paying lots of money to bombard audience with something they might be not as interested. But if you look what these people are really interested in on the right side, you can see that people apparently who eat burgers, they also interested in Baskin Robbins, in I don't know, Sunsilk, like some body care stuff. Well, they're humans, right? They not just eating burgers day and night. So now if they're eating not eating burgers day and night, why do we target them just through this kind of audience? Is this because we are working in an agency and somebody gave us the media plan saying that this has to be fast food lovers? Or is it because we learned that if we want to target burgers, and we should put burgers in the targeting? I'm not sure. There are many things that restrict us, and it makes our campaigns extremely stupid if we don't really go deep into that. I've got this demo slide quite a number of times. I probably would skip this one because the time is limited, but then later I'll show everything I can just to be on time. And yeah, and if you look at this overall picture, AI is everywhere, like in a watch, Zoom that shoots us now, right? There is AI there that transcribing my speech. Even if you don't enable the feature, it will still transcribe, because later it's easier to sell to us a particular features of them. And of course, the smart replies in email, like those that compose the rest of our messages. Like, think about it. Google, if they're a very privacy preserving company, how could they auto-compose the end of our sentence based on our patterns and patterns of other people? Isn't that they're reading somebody else's emails to compose our email better? But they never ask whether they can do it or not. They just do it, right? So we go to others, and we go to YouTube. There's probably useful features like, I don't know, porn detection or offensive contact detection. We got all those Series, Alexas, etc., etc. A lot of things happening around. And we really want to make sure that we are utilizing it and we are aware of it. So the thing that I was just talking to you about was something that called long tail ads targeting. And this is exactly the burger example. So you get some advertiser who wants to advertise the fast food. And you got another one who also wants to advertise the fast food, but ready to pay, well, let's call it like $2. Actually, it's much more complicated, but there's such thing called CPM, cost per million, cost per showing ad 1,000 times. And let's say one guy is ready to pay $1, another one, oh, okay, we are in British pounds, yeah. The second one ready to pay 2, and then the third one is ready to pay 3. So who will be showing the ad eventually? In auction and programmatic. Do you know? The third one, right? Because he pays the most, and he'll be actually paying just a little bit more than $2 because it's fair system. Yeah, we want to make it fair, so it will be just a little bit more than 2. But then the first two wouldn't show the ad, the third one will pay the most. So you can imagine, right? If everybody targeting ads following the same principle as the most obvious gut feeling type of thing, then all of them will be participating in this, and a very small audience of people obsessed by burgers will be bombarded by all burger companies. And who benefits from that? Well, Facebook, because they target very small Farseev audience with lots of competition with the same interest. But you could also do something a little bit different when showing your ads. You could imagine that people that are perceived in some way, like me, like I'm perceived as, I don't know, AI, whatever guy, computer scientist, and also marketeer, and I don't know, startupper, a CEO, and all those things. But you can also think that there are lots of interests. There's a lot of psychographics, something that really drive me. Like I really like teaching, so I teach a lot, and I also like some other things. Like for example, like this one, I play accordion. I play in so many places in a very big halls, over 400 concerts in my life so far. But you don't know it about me. Even if you go Google, you probably will see something about marketing and the company SoMin where I'm from, but not this. But if you target your ads through this, then actually you're gonna get it in much cheaper price, and it's so much more likely I'm gonna go browse accordions as compared to somebody who will be trying to advertise me another AI tool or another concept, because I feel like I already know everything. So this is a concept of long tail targeting and something that you could imagine using in your campaign. So now two guys advertising a different bidding for the interest at a different price. We get the third guy, but then if the first one is smart to target the ad not through the burger but through the pastry, let's say, which is much less competitive, then he will be the one showing the ad, and he will be the winner. And now if you can do it on a very large scale, you will effectively getting a way more better campaigns in digital advertising. And yeah, Facebook will earn less, but what's the most important is that your campaigns are efficient, because you'll be the one in charge of performance. You will be the one who is a head of growth or marketing manager or digital advertiser in a company. So think about it and make sure that you really understand your audience much deeper than what Facebook teaching you. I don't say you don't need to read all those blueprints, but always remember one thing. Facebook, Google, and other programmatic systems, they are very much monopolists. Wherever they say, that's the rule. And don't forget another thing. Those monopolists earning from you spending budgets in their platforms. So you spend less, they earn less. You spend more, they earn more. And you could spend more for two reasons: because you are very efficient, and that's a good reason, or because you're not efficient, your ads are damn expensive and you need to spend more. And very often the inefficiency comes from the latter case, and you don't want to be the one running such ads because you'll get kicked out from the job, because your boss for sure doesn't understand all those AI things. They just look at the plots, and for them it's either you're doing well with lots of leads and sales or not, and you better be the one doing well. And you need to know this to do well. So, but there are of course many other things you can do by utilizing long tail targeting. I'll talk about that a little bit later, but just I found that this picture of dinosaurs, some people really easy to remember. So what is long tail? Do you know what's long tail? Is it the dinosaur's tail or is some other tail? I don't have the tail, at least yet. You do know? No? Anyone? You have heard that you are marketers, right? You're like 2 years learning this already. All right, so long tail is a distribution. You probably in your maths courses, you have heard about this probability distributions. So why it's so well visualized by this is because you get a dinosaur with a very long neck, and that neck is that burger that we all target. And you also got the super long tail of those interests like pastry, like accordion, that are not very popular, but yet very relevant to our audience. Each of them can deliver you a smaller audience, but because you really have lots of them, you eventually can get bigger audience that if you will be targeting that on the head of the distribution, and you're going to get at a much cheaper price because you're going to buy it cheap because nobody else even know and that those interests exist. And just on Facebook alone, you get hundreds of thousands things you could target, from something like mothers with babies and parenting, which everybody used, to something like water bottle, shoes, cap. And that means that the way Facebook labels us, assign interest to us, is actually very much related to what we post and where we go, what kind of websites we visit, just like in the beginning. So it all boils back to the first slide, that where Facebook revealing itself that the way the machines look at us is not the way they teach us to use it, and not the way how marketers tend to approach into audience targeting in a traditional fashion. So I've got a Forbes article in 2 weeks ago about that human versus robot thing. So just reach out to me. I can send you the link, or maybe I'll let the folks just distribute it. You can read about it a little bit more details. So we just don't want to do that. And how would you target the psychographics of the audience? How would you want to approach this? Well, instead of something that you have on my left, like the targeting of the ads through the demographic aspect, you instead could consider targeting them through the psychographics. And the way you would do it by finding all those special interests, as I just explained. And if you would see how the modern platforms are doing this, and that's not just SoMin, right? Yeah, our business in this, what we do, we finding all those interests and push them to Facebook and execute campaigns, and we do it for enterprises. But just if you wouldn't think about SoMin, the company, you will just think about the general process. You always need to have lots of data in the beginning. You want to analyze to understand that I'm interested in accordion, a part of marketing, and then somebody else interested in pastry, a part of burgers. Then you need to segment that very well. So you're segmenting your audience, but by much higher dimensional space, you're really trying to figure out what exactly you are doing with your audience. How do you segment? How do you go for it? And then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to find this long tail. And very important moment here is optimization of the ads. So you're not going to just do it by hand. You ideally do it at a very large scale. You're going to run like hundreds, thousands of ads at the same time, testing different kind of water bottle type of interest against different creatives that you have. You need to have many creatives and look at it all the time, because the clicks, the conversions are attributed all the time. And then eventually you're going to get a campaign that run much, much more efficient. Our business is in this, we automate it. Yeah, it's just pretty simple. So when we advertise our business, when we sell our business, it's both very complicated and very simple. When I sell it to marketeers, my pitch is 5 minutes. It's just so easy because they know this. When I'm selling it to some traditional folks, it could be 1.5 hours because they just cannot get it. How come Facebook teaching one thing, and then in reality, it works in a very different way? So you want to be the first one, right? Because then you'll be able to make a very informed decision what kind of tools you want to adopt. How did Citibank use this? So they were running a very large scale campaign here. And first of all, they were collecting a huge number of data points, about 5.6 million data points, which are social posts, historical campaigns, the search queries that people are searching for. Then that got translated into the high level audience, usually that we get in our media brief, and very detailed breakdown of the audiences, like 525 ads were running concurrently at the same time. The agency you'll be working in, if you'll be working in an agency, you'll be running like 3, 5. This one runs 525. And yeah, you need something to manage. You cannot do it by hand. And then you're going to get some weird audiences like this. So what the product was, the credit cards and personal loans. It's a very complicated marketing funnel with some additional steps for them to really convert, call the customer, qualify, and all this kind of thing. So how did they improve by 43%? So what they were doing, they were grasping those audiences that are optimizing ads through long tail interest distribution. And I'm not sure whether you can see or not, but some of them are like beauty, bird oil, blockchain, baseball, tattoos. That's what people like. If I'm a marketer, it doesn't mean that I don't like tattoos. Well, I don't have. Yeah, I don't have, but people do have, and they really interested in. So why don't I target you through tattoos? Then the ad will be shown to you. And if I know that there is a very strong relation between tattoo people and, let's say, marketing professionals, which I'm not sure about, well, I know for sure many of them are smoking, but okay, whatever. If you find this kind of correlation, then you can show ads cheaper, and then they will be converting better because they have never seen these ads, because nobody else have never targeted them because they didn't know that you can actually target marketers through tattoos, or let's say credit card owners through different shopping and retail interests. So okay, this lady is from WPP, since we are in the UK, so I'll try to.
We focus on plug-and-play business in the long term and bring results here and now. This is what happened in our case with Citibank and SoMin.ai. They perfectly manage artificial intelligence to find the right audience and get the best out of companies. Although Byron Sharp didn't stand for segmentation involvement, we see that the technological progress has made a giant step forward. Every day we use algorithmic purchases, bidding models, smart recommendation systems, and real-time optimization. We believe that we can go further than socio-demographic targeting and finding people, narrow groups of people, willing to make a purchase here and now based on their behavioral characteristics. We also believe that you can use the concept of AI-managed smart long-tail targeting to avoid bidding wars and get more customers for less money. SoMin technology, which evaluates 12,000 user parameters based on open sources and then optimizes dozens of companies in real time, has helped us a lot in it. As a result of the pilot project, where we segmented non-obvious things like ornithologists, bearded people, Indian folk lovers, we were able to double the number of acquired leads and reduce their cost by half.
All right, so when she say companies, she means campaigns. The translator is not from marketing, so she translated wrongly. This Ukrainian lady, by the way, she I believe now work in WPP London, so they moved to here, so I catch up with her several times. Anyway, so that's how it works. This one is the WPP's conference, TYNY, 1 year ago, where they were presenting this kind of things. And scan this QR code. And if you have Instagram business profile, you can actually get your own breakdown of the analytics of the interests that are related to you. So if you have this Instagram business profile, just scan it, go register on the platform. It's just a free checker, like a research tool. And after a day or two, you're going to get a detailed breakdown is what in your content and how Facebook and Google actually sees you. Okay, I count 10 seconds. If you want to scan, you scan. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Platform called SoPop.ai. You can just go for the URL. So basically, except for this long tail targeting, the main business that my company is doing, what else is possible in AI advertising, AI marketing? Well, there's many things you can do. And one good example is this lady. So she is Maya. Her name is Maya. She is virtual influencer. You have heard about virtual influencers. Have you heard about virtual influencers? You haven't heard about virtual influencers? Okay. Have you heard about influencer marketing? Okay. Did you? Okay, cool. Yeah. So virtual influencer marketing, I mean, when you make up the person, it's never existing girl or boy who is on Instagram and everybody follows them. And the best advantage of virtual influencers is that they are assets of the brand that they were created for. And there are plenty of them, maybe 20, 30 really big ones across the globe, from mother and baby universe all the way to cars. And they're usually created by creative agencies, and there's a lot of production process involved. But this one, which we're proud to be the parents of her, she is created by AI. It's a neural network generated her. And if you look at her Instagram, which you can find, you'll see that she is actually meeting a real influencers in Malaysia. Like the girl on the left there in top left corner, she's a real influencer in Malaysia. And on the right side is a virtual influencer. The person have never existed, but she's an asset of the Puma Asia Pacific. And all those pictures. So they're generated. This was created in collaboration with an agency called IPG Media Brands. And yeah, that was like quite a big thing. Like I think from the UK, the Drum wrote quite a bit about her. So the good thing is that you can put her in any position. You don't need to negotiate anything because she's your asset. You just pay in the beginning one to create all this, and after that you can send her everywhere, collaborate with anyone. And if you go to the Puma stores in anywhere in Asia Pacific countries, you'll see also huge billboards on the walls, and you will see her everywhere. But you can also do very cool video stuff with them, also purely generated. So in this video, the guys are real, but Maya, she is not. They were advertising Puma Raider shoes. So this was the beginning of the campaign, and after that, we've got her Instagram here, when she really talking to people, and there are a few more videos, few more stories, and it was pretty big. AirAsia got a virtual 3D assistant. Her name is Ava. She's also purely generated, AI generated virtual influencer. You can see her in airports. If you fly to Kuala Lumpur, you can like put your phone in front, and you can see in the virtual reality she's talking to you. So this is a next step after influencer marketing. If you get influencer marketing before, then you get micro influencer marketing, where you really want to collaborate with just normal people, not like a superstar. The next step was this AI generated virtual influencers. And this is all available to you if you want to use that. Of course, another different technologies that you could work with are those Elon Musk's fun things like GPT-3, and now we also have DALL-E 2. This is neural networks that have billions of parameters, and that they can literally learn how advertisers on a different world communicate to their audiences, pick up the best examples, summarize it, and post the ads automatically that are actually better than a copywriters could use. So that's a very powerful ideation and copywriter encouragement ideation tools that you can use for that purpose. So usually when I show this slide, I say that in the left side, you're going to get the something that is written by Audi team. Giving a street smartphone new meaning, find the 2021 Audi A4 at your local Little Rock dealer. This is Audi USA. In the right side, the first two are written by human, then 3 to 12 are written by GPT-3. Try to find one mistake. There's one mistake there. Otherwise, you hardly can distinguish them one from another. Anyone know what is a mistake? It's somewhere between 3 and 5. Between 3 and 4. It's actually a hard task. Out of 30 people, probably one can find it. So it's trying to, in number 3, it's trying to sell Audi in a Lincoln dealer. Lincoln is another automobile brand. And the only reason why it made this mistake is because there's also Lincoln City in the USA. And it was actually talking about Lincoln City, but it decided that city is too bulky and wouldn't sound nice. So it removed city, but for humans, that become confusing and funny. Other than that, actually, it's very, very good in generating different stuff. And we've got a tool that we can actually use for these purposes. But you can also do it to predict what's your competitor content and how well the competitor content is doing. So let's say you are McDonald's and you want to predict whether Burger King ads are doing well. One way to do it is to get a spy, put them in a Burger King team, and let them send you emails with the statistics of the digital campaigns every day. Another easier way is use machine learning. If you have lots of data, let's say in the agency, you have lots of data, you can train machine learning to actually predict what kind of content going to work or not work, and you can even do it before you run any campaigns. So you can see in the right side, it's called attention map. You can predict how content is going to be working before you run a campaign, and not just whether it's going to work well or not. You can also predict what exact thing on the image and in the text that contributes to the success of the content, or probably to the failure of particular content. So this kind of tools also can be built, and they are very much the state-of-the-art technology that we can use. So here I can probably show you. Let me, yeah. So this is a research tool. So let's say let's go to copy generation. Any brand in mind? Anything that you? Okay, let's choose Facebook or Instagram. Instagram or Facebook? Choose. Okay, Instagram. Yeah, I knew it. Okay, the brand. Huh? The product. I'm really bad in spelling Nike products, but okay, I don't hear. I just write shoes. Okay, forgive me. Forgive me for that. But can put the exact name. So occasion, any occasion. Okay. And any promotion. %10 off. And choose the audience. The system can actually predict your personality. So it can be masculine, feminine, youngsters, young adults, seniors, professionals. Young adults. Okay, great. Yeah, that's really much our audience today. So now GPT-3 is trying to generate content for that. Get your Christmas shopping done early and save 10% on Nike's shoes. Find the perfect gift for everyone you list with Nike's 10% off sale. And you can choose different, let's say, I want to run Facebook ads rather than Instagram posts. And it's going to generate different content. It's going to start trying to follow the Facebook style here. See, so this is more like a typical DCO Facebook ad. Holiday shopping made easy with new pair of Nike shoes from your collection, saving now and get ahead of your curve. And then if you choose, let's say, I don't know, seniors, then you're going to get a little bit different wording as well. And the worst thing is that this happens in seconds automatically. You don't really need to be, I don't know, creative or whatever. We call it ideation tool. Of course, if you are in advertising, this thing can be even used straight away. If you are in a creative space, you know, like those creative agencies, they think that media people like me are quite stupid. So they always will modify it a lot because they want to have rights. They want to have a right tempo. They want to have a rhythm inside and all this kind of stuff. So we call it ideation. But I think for you, the takeaway is there are tools and technology nowadays that can generate lots of copies, and those copies will work better than a copywriter in your company that is doing this every day, and by 3-4 months of work get completely fatigued and non-creative because I don't know what else I can say about this stupid, oh, no, not stupid, Nike shoes with a 10% off for Christmas. I can just probably just do Black Friday or Valentine's Day, but that's all my work. And then they need this kind of tools to be assistant. Very recently, there is a new neural network was proposed called DALL-E 2. OpenAI just released it to very few companies. Some universities get access, some companies get access. So now you can also generate from scratch images. So those images wouldn't be used directly for advertising because it's just a little bit too hard. You're not gonna like really put some image that where the product looks a little bit different, but those images are very, very powerful to inspire the creative team how to make images for your advertising because they are trained on what worked the best for your competitors. You kind of get the competitor content, predict which one works the best by the previous thing that I'll show you, and then learns to generate something similar that worked for your competitors, but it will be not plagiarism because it will be completely new. No way you're going to find this image anywhere in internet. So let's say year's resolutions, feet start you buy new shoes, get something like this, right? So you can use DALL-E 2 to generate images or banners that could potentially be the banners for this campaign. Absolutely unpredictable, sometimes very funny looking ones. So excuse, oh no, it's not bad. Yeah, so those, and you can see that's made up names of the shoes or something like this. But come on, you pass it to creative teams, they create something like this with a real, according to the brand guidelines and everything, and after that you can use it. Of course, this technology is also a little bit more advanced than just generating banners. So I usually make fun and I say, okay, guys, let's put something really funny. Let's say hamster wearing glasses giving a marketing lecture or something like that. It's absolute nonsense, but neural network can actually try to find some concept. So I always put some nonsense kind of stuff to see what it will generate, because it's actually very fun. So let's see how does hamster wearing glasses teaching a lecture looks like. Hopefully it doesn't look like me, otherwise I'll have to. Yeah. So this is a hamsters teaching marketing classes. That's how they look like. So it's actually very powerful because it gets trained on such a huge data. It's so many parameters. Of course, normal companies can't achieve this because they don't have the hardware that OpenAI, Elon Musk have. He's the richest guy in the world. But this is the future. And when you graduate, that's the world you're going to live in. So yes, of course, do your home assignments and everything. But apart from that, dive deep. So in 2 years from now, you are a data-driven marketeer that knows how AI works. That definitely is the future, and that's unavoidable. Okay, so yeah, so if you go further, and I still have 18 minutes, so yeah, if you go further, we can see that this also can be used in online to offline marketing. So another way how you can use online ads is to improve offline ads. So we have our metro in London, for example, right? We've got lots of billboards, the traditional billboards, but we also got the screens everywhere, right? So how do they target people via screens? Well, they just estimate what types of people are traveling there every week, and after that they are trying to show the relevant advertisement to these people, to the demographic and psychographics of these people. That's how they do it. But another department in the same company running lots of ads on Facebook, and they get so much data. They know exactly what type of people, what kind of interests, personality traits are reacting on these ads, what kind of content, and what kind of day of the week and time of the day and everything. And they never connect this together because apparently one is in charge of physical, another one in charge of digital. And it's just so hard to make the friends. They all feel that they're the main thing. They all fight for the budgets and everything. The future, I believe, is combining all these things in a one digital online to offline ecosystem, where you can, for example, leverage the data from digital in order to do a much better physical. And it's easy because, first of all, you've got lots of cameras, and you can kind of estimate the age groups and the genders and people that are passing through the MRT. That's one thing you can already use to leverage in here. But at the same time, you can also monitor in what kind of part of, let's say, this one is Singapore, but let's say London, what kind of people reacting at what kind of ads. And you don't need to do it manually. You can use AI to predict from the content what are the concepts inside, just like I was showing you before, and also from the from the location of the ads, understand what they're doing now, what are their traveling patterns, how do they react. So I can understand that in Zoho, for example, something that really works on Mondays and Tuesdays at 5 to 7 p.m. is the ads of the beers, but then in South Kensington, I really gonna advertise some I don't know, luxury goods, and it has to be happening on Mondays from Monday to Friday, because that's the time where people are, I don't know, drinking coffee and reading newspapers. I probably said something very stereotypical. Yeah, forgive me for that. I'm not local, so I don't know yet what exactly happening everywhere. But this kind of things you can learn from the ads. So what is the key takeaway here? Is the ads are not just a way for you to deliver the banner to somebody to let them click and pay. Ads are also very powerful source of the data for all your campaigns from offline all the way to online. And if there is a loop in a company where the ads eventually draw the data to, well, get shown, and then you receive this data, the thing get properly attributed. Attribution is another question you really need to be making sure that you understand how it works, but like properly attributed, you really know what kind of customer came from. Then you can also build a whole map by doing a lot of geo ads in the city. You know in what kind of part of the city, what kind of ads are popular, what time is happening, and then you can also push it back to the metro map, and then all your screens start first understanding where you are and who you are in terms of your demographics, in terms of your age, gender, etc. And then as a second layer, all your psychographics and interests can actually affect what kind of ads are getting shown every time. You can do it by SoMin. You don't need to do it by SoMin. You can do it in-house as well. I took just this slide from one of our project presentations. And you can also discover influencers everywhere. There's going to be a real humans. You might even not know that you are influencer, but you might be a very great and powerful impact to drive engagement on organic. Do you know what's organic? What is paid media? You know, right? Yes. Yes. Okay. So before I was talking about advertising, now I'm talking about organic, right? So in organic, in social and Instagram, you can actually have a very powerful impact through influencer marketing. For some brands, that's much cooler working technology as compared to just running ads, because they are very social. That's usually B2C businesses. So how does Ferrari looks for influencers? How do they find the Ferrari owners? Okay, yeah, that's the funny thing. Usually in influencer marketing, what you're going to do is you are going to find the guys who are in your audience segment, and after that, pass them the product, pass them this water, and then they're going to shoot a selfie drinking this water and say this. It's really great. Yeah, and if you are Ferrari, are you going to pass them Ferrari, or what are you going to do? So that's become an issue, because you want to find those Ferrari owners who are at the same time very engaging accounts that could bring this impact, that could really help you to do a much better job on the organic. And you can use natural language processing and computer vision, just the same one as Facebook uses to profile people, in order to do a better job here. And you can do it everywhere in the world. So these are the markets where Ferrari is really active in there, and that you can really do it in a very geo-targeted, because you can run this technology on each of the markets, profile the content, understand the differences of these people, and then eventually get your results. So we say it's 3 steps. Step number 1, find those guys who have sports cars on their content. You need to get lots of data from some region, from social media. You need to put computer vision on it that will help you to find those automobiles on each of these accounts, and then it will help you to figure out whether there is a sports car inside or not. Otherwise, manually you cannot do it. Some people try, but how are you going to scan millions of social media profiles to understand things manually? Then you can group them, all those that are potentially Ferrari owners with a very engaging Instagram profiles, let's say, or TikTok profiles. And then after that, you can analyze their audience, fine tune, and engage these people. And let's say give them 1 free service checkup. So maybe you're going to get even the customers for yourself, right? Now these Ferrari owners start not just posting random stuff everywhere, but they start posting Ferrari in the way Ferrari wants. And then it becomes pretty much a free tool by those guys who already paid to buy Ferrari. And now they're working you to advertise it everywhere in the way you want, because advertising things in the way you want influencer marketing is crucial, especially when you deal with micro influencers, because they have no clue how to do the right positioning, right light and everything, and what to write there in order to not to harm your brand. So you have to be very careful. So prediction of particular Ferrari cars by computer vision now stands at around 7% accuracy. And actually this was a few months ago. Now we can do it at 82% accurate. So give me an image, I can predict what kind of model of Ferrari on this image. I can do it in millions of images, and I can do it for any typical brand. You're talking about, let's say, tobacco, I can do tobacco, I can predict infants, I can predict image of the age of the infants, particular diaper brands that they're using, anything. 11,326 objects are now can be predicted just by SoMin platform alone, and there are many computer vision platforms that can do and profile this kind of things. So yes, I have 10 minutes, so I can show you another little demo here. And here you go. So this is the Ferrari platform, and you can see that you can actually find those Ferraris in visual content automatically. So, and not just Ferraris, but you can also predict the personality traits of these folks, right? So for example, this profile got a number of Ferrari cars that get automatically scored. And this one as well. And you can search it by 200 interests, 11.5 thousand different objects, like water, like publication, just like Facebook does with the advertising. You can do this to find the organic influencers that you want to use. And I think I think just on our platform alone, we get 1.5 million profiles. And you can do it in a very, very deep and good engagement rate. And to make a decision, you don't need to just blindly decide. You actually can look where the person travels, what they exactly are doing, what are their interests, what is their audience, and their audience personality trait, and where the audience is located, and what are their interests. And then you can make decision to engage them and track them for wherever campaigns you are doing, or wherever campaign you have in your mind. So overall, I think what you really want to do is you want to make sure that you are also data-driven marketer. So every decision that you make, every single action that you report must be driven by the data. It means you need to be hungry for the data. You need to be looking for this data all the time, and you need to know the place where you can get it. And you also need to know the way you want to process and interpret it. And all those things are not yet really taught in traditional courses. And therefore, you need to probably take maybe one course on AI or casual AI on some Coursera or somewhere else. Maybe go to a parallel course to a computer science department to roughly understand how it works. Then you will be absolutely irreplaceable in the market, because that's what everybody needs. What you need to think about is, of course, the attribution, the way your campaigns get attributed. So you really understand where your performance comes from. You know this famous joke, I know my marketing, half of my marketing department doesn't produce good results, but I don't know which half. So I pay for everything. So you want to be the one that knows, that explains which half doesn't work, so you can optimize. You need to know how to read the data, and you really want to be sure that the tools available are very familiar to you, and they are using them nicely and wisely. All those things you can learn if you go for internship with us. So if you are looking for that, just scan this QR code now and fill up the forms there. You can also reach out to me, and we can chat and make sure that you get the Forbes article after the lecture, so you can read a little bit about the battle between humans versus AI. For you, make sure that you are not just deciding on whether that's something that you want to learn, but you are already planning when you're going to learn it, so in 2 years you are in the right shape, ready for the marketplace. Thanks so much. Very nice seeing you.